Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. This is going to be your stock watch list and a little bit of market talk for the 6th of June. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the news that came out after the bell tonight. Right now, we have the futures moving down a bit in the after hours tonight. Dow futures down 85, S&P futures down 11, NASDAQ futures down 33. No deal reached during the White House talks on Wednesday between U.S. and Mexican officials on immigration. That coming from NBC News, and also the Trade Exchange putting that in their news service tonight. So futures are down. My time right now is about 6:24 Eastern time. And so right now, futures are moving down. As you can see, the SPY after hours chart pulling back from the closing highs here on the SPY. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the news that came out after the bell tonight. We did have a few earnings come out. Five Below came out with earnings. FIVE, that stock popped up. They beat by 11 cents. Revenue miss. Raises full year fiscal guidance for 2019 on that name. SRPT talked that it was granted FDA orphan drug designation on SRPT. REVG earnings per share missed by 2 cents, revenue miss. MDB in the software space, earnings per share beat by 2 cents, revenue beat, and that was on MDB. So that stock popped up when the earnings actually fell when the earnings first came out, and then they popped it up. Kind of closed at 148.87, so down about $6 from the close. The real winner in the after hours is SFIX. This stock earnings per share beat by 10 cents and a revenue beat. SFIX. That stock closed at $23, currently trading at $30 and change on this name, Stitch Fix. So a big pop up, a big move up in the after hours. CLDR also had earnings after the bell. Cloudera over in the software application space. They also announced the CEO transition. SMAR earnings per share and revenue beat. Stock closed at 40.76 and it's currently trading at $40 on SMAR. UNFI had earnings after the bell tonight. They beat by 10 cents, revenue miss on that name. Let's see if there's anything else. Costco came out with reported May sales results for the 39 weeks ended June 2nd. The company reported net sales of 111 billion, an increase of 8.0% from 103 billion during the similar period last year. Costco comparable sales up 4.3% on Costco. So I would imagine that one would be up in the after hours. Let's see. Closed at 247.96, currently trading around 246.10 on Costco. Let's see if there's any other news. CGC was initiated a buy at Stifel. Cronus Group initiated a hold at Stifel. ACB initiated a hold at Stifel. So some MICT strategic investment of up to 16.25 million. And let's check that one out. It did pop, but then it gave it all back on MICT. Yeah, they popped it up to $1.55, but then it gave it all back on that name. GTXI merger approval coming out on their Form 8K for GTXI. Currently, I'm in this trade from $1.40. I took some off as it popped up into my favor. Still holding some, using this 140 as my stop on GTXI. So this one popping up in the after hours on that news. And I think that's about it. Moody's changes Mexico's outlook to negative from stable for Mexico. So that news also coming out after the bell tonight. This news courtesy of the Trade Exchange. So the stock market today continued their bounce today. The market held up, bulls held up, the 2800 level held up, 280 on the SPY. The Dow Jones was up 207 points for the day. The transports were up 88, NASDAQ up 48. The NASDAQ is back over the 200 SMA on the NASDAQ. The S&P 500 was plus 23. The Dow Jones is back over the 200 SMA. Oil got crushed today. XOIL. We'll take a look at light sweet crude oil. Oil was down today over 3% on the day. The ETF for light sweet crude oil also down over almost 3.5% on oil. There was a build in the EIA petroleum report that came out today, so that drove oil and oil stocks down. Let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY here. So even with oil moving down, the bulls were able to hold this 280 spot on the daily chart here. Still work to do. We're coming up to the 20 SMA now on the SPY, 282.85. So we'll call it 283 for the 20 SMA on the SPY. Then after that, we have that 285 area to get up above. And of course, then the dark blue moving average up there, 286.47 for the 50 SMA. Right now, bulls are holding us above the 200 SMA. The Dow Jones 30 is back over the 200 SMA here. And as I said, the NASDAQ composite. This is also back above the 200 SMA, coming up to the 10 SMA. So a nice little bounce here, but like I said, the futures are pointing to a down move here at the moment. It's still early in the evening, so we're going to have to see how what they want to do with the markets for tomorrow. As far as some of your changes for today, percent-wise, to the upside, you had IYR, the REITs up 2%. Solar's up again today, up almost 2% on the day. We also had the software sector that was up 1.5% on the day. To the downside, a little more complacency came into the market. A 16 handle on the VIX. Like we said, oil got hit. Gold, JNUG, the junior gold miners took a hit of almost 3%. The OIH not faring too well today, down almost 2.5%. Nat Gas, also UNG, the ETF for that, was down on the day. Some of your stocks that were popping today. Campbell Soup had earnings today. Stock moved up 10%. Roku had an upgrade today. Price target $119. I believe that was from Guggenheim, up 9% on the day. Data up 8%. MDB before their earnings today had a strong day, up 7%. Shop, SHOP, up almost 7%. TWLO, Twilo, up 7% on the day. Lyft, which we caught in the room on the break of $60. This one was a real nice mover today. LYFT lift, and it took out 60 bucks, and this thing just kept climbing for the rest of the day right into the close. Very strong close on Lyft. Still holding some of this on LYFT. We put that one in the room for our members today. A lot of folks got that. Uber was up 5% on the day. To the downside, some of your stocks, PVTL, which came out with earnings, dropped 41% on the day. GRVY, this stock dropping 10% on the day. GTXI in the apparel sector had earnings today. That stock dropping almost 10% on the day. Solely popped up. We got a quick pop in the pre-market today on Solely. That stock jumping 6%. Goose down another 5% on the day. Canadian company there. Grubhub dropping today, down almost 5% on the day. Some of your low price stocks to the upside. RWLK up 122% on the day. WKHS stock climbed 25%. EOLS jumping 16% on the day. Ears also popping here, and volume coming in on EARS, 1.4 million shares today. Stock jumping 14%. CPAH, this stock moved up 13% on the day. day. GNCA had a strong day today, up 13% on the day. ALNA, this stock jumping 12%. OCX also climbing today, up 4%. I'm sorry, up 11% on the day. And Cronus Group, which got an upgrade from Bank America Merrill Lynch today, up 11%. Very strong day for that one. Got held back by the 50 SMA here. Moving up today 11%. APPS has been strong since their earnings report on that name. Over in the marijuana space, let's check and see to the downside. TRPX, NBEV losing more steam here, down another over 7% on the day. YGYI to the upside. Cronus XXII, which is a component of the MJ ETF, the marijuana ETF, was moving up today. VFF also climbing today. This stock up 3% on our IPO list. I don't have all the IPOs, but I have some. SONM up 12%. Silk was up today. SILK. This stock up 8% on the day. Like we mentioned, Lyft, Uber had a good day today. A very strong day. Coming back up to that IPO price there at 45. On that name. So that's some of your IPOs, some of your low float top movers, EOLS, RAVE, NTGN, all popping today. OCX, as we mentioned, APPS, VAPO climbing 8%. These are your low float stocks. That's a scanner I use with TC2000. All right, and forgot to look at some of the sectors, but the oil and gas exploration was down almost 4%. Retailers took another hit today. They were down almost 1.5%. The XLE in the energy space, that was down 1% on the day. To the upside, we had the XLRE, the real estate ETF, up 2% on the day. Utilities were getting some buying today. Lastly, for the markets, we'll just take a quick look at the IWM. As we talked about in previous videos, that 145 spot was tested and held, and we've bounced back. Now we're back up to this 150 spot on the IWM. It still remains below some of the major moving averages here on the IWM. So we'll see what tomorrow is going to bring with the futures. Moving down tonight. And like we say, any tweet, any headline can move these markets. By the way, President Trump is making some comments here. Immigration discussions at the White House with representatives of Mexico have ended for the day. Progress is being made, but not nearly enough. Border arrests for May are 133,000 because of Mexico. So comments coming out from President Trump on my Twitter stream here. Talks with Mexico will resume tomorrow with the understanding that if no agreement is reached, tariffs at the 5% level will begin on Monday with monthly increases as per schedule. All right, so President Trump out with some tweets just now. Coming out on Mexico. So let's go ahead and check the futures once more, see what's going on there before I let you go, and we'll get into that watch list, I promise. So futures are recovering a little bit. Here's your Dow futures. They were down about 88. Now we're down about 66. S&P futures down about 9. NASDAQ futures down about 20. 30 points here on the NASDAQ futures. It's about 6:45 my time, Eastern time, as I'm doing this video. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the watch list for tomorrow. Don't want to keep you too long on this video. And so, I'll continue to watch AMD for that move above $30 on AMD. It spiked up the other day a little bit, and also in pre-market it was climbing today, and then it broke down below that $29.90 area, and then it kind of just drifted down on AMD. But we'll keep it on watch for tomorrow. A small little name, under 50 cent name, AMRH. AMRH, you might want to keep this one on watch. 11 million shares, 12 million shares came into this one today on that name. CPAH, off of our scanners was getting some volume. 396,000 shares. Has the 200 SMA that it keeps running into here at $1.75. If they can get it over that number, keep an eye on it. Dropbox, a lot of call activity in this name, starting to come back above that 22 level here on Dropbox. So we'll keep it on watch. Call activity. DMPI is up in the after hours tonight. So this one will be on watch for tomorrow. EOLS also having a strong day today. 1.8 million shares came into EOLS. That'll be on watch. GNCA. This one pulled back to the 5 EMA. They bounced it today. In the after hours, it's back above $7. GNCA had popped all the way up to 11 bucks. So keep an eye on that one. GTXI. That one popping up on that news that I told you at the beginning of the video. So this will be on watch. If it comes back down to $1.40, I'm going to get back out of the rest of my GTXI. I've taken some money off the table here, but I'm going to use break-even stop for the rest. So that'll be on watch tomorrow. IMMU, this one, 7 million shares. Now it's a beaten down name, maybe some bargain hunting, some shorts covering here. So IMMU, we'll have it on watch. KOOL just recently did a 1 for 10 reverse split. So we'll be watching this one if it can take out maybe that $3 area on KOOL. OGEN, some volume coming in, 2.2 million shares. It's an under 50-cent name. It still remains under the 50 moving average, which is currently at 52 cents. So keep an eye on it on this OGEN. It popped up to 54 cents going into the close today, so that'll be on watch. RBZ, a lot of these little stocks are making moves here. RBZ has been very quiet as of late. If it can ever take out $5, it might get going. Today it came up to 490 and a strong close, a strong push up here in RBZ. So we'll have that one on watch. SFIX, we'll see on this one. If it pulls back maybe to this 29 area, we might get a bounce and a turn back up on SFIX. I'm not going to chase it all the way up there, though. SIEN, this stock, big volume, expanding volume in SIEN today, came up to the 20 SMA. That is around $6.70, so we'll call it 675, 10 million shares. So this one will be on watch for tomorrow. Square remains on watch. Now, we're still in this name, Square. We had taken a day trade. We got almost a $3 push out of this name, so I'm still holding some SQ Square. So that one is trying to continue on up here. So holding that one. But right now, I'd say, if it can get over the highs today, you might want to take a look at it for another position. Came up to 65, 64. So maybe if it can clear 65 again, 65 and a quarter, maybe it gets interesting again, Square for you. WKHS, this one popping up today, 17.5 million shares. Now, I did try this one late in the afternoon. It was starting to take out. It had popped up. It pulled back. I was holding above VWAP here on my 5-minute chart. So I saw it climbing up here a little bit. I took it as it was coming up over 225. It popped up a little bit, started to come back at me, and I lost the nickel on it. So I'm going to keep an eye on this WKHS again for tomorrow. XXII also with this expanding volume. The 100 SMA is in the way right now. That number on that moving average is at 209. So maybe over 210 XXII. We'll see if this one wants to get moving tomorrow. So that's some of the stocks I'll be watching for tomorrow. And then, of course, with my trade ideas, scanners, and news from trade exchange related. All right, folks, this is Mike from zozostockwatch.com. Have a very good evening. We'll be back at it with another video on Sunday. Have a great night. Good day trading tomorrow.